Welcome to the show. Today we're taking a closer look into the lives of auto drivers. And why? Because 75% of the global auto rickshaw population is here in India. They are a disgruntled bunch. But here's a business that's making their lives better and in the process making us, the commuters, a happier bunch. 23 crores a day. That's the number of trips auto drivers make each day in India. Yet they belong to India's unorganized economy. Changing this is Aishwarya Raman's social enterprise, Auto Raja. She and the team at Auto Raja are providing Chennai city's auto drivers with access to institutional finance, affordable healthcare, and quality education for their children, whilst providing the city's commuters with autos on call and at regulated prices. So, Aishwarya, 75% of the world's auto rickshaw population is here in India.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And 23 crores trips every single day.
That's right. Absolutely.
And that big, large population of auto drivers all belongs to the unorganized economy.
That's right. That's right.
What are the problems associated with with such a large population belonging to the unorganized economy?
So if you are a private company employee, you would get pension, you'd have medical insurance, but an auto driver across the country doesn't have any of this. The driver, again, does not get a fixed income every month. So he's ultimately a daily wage earner. So what that means is that the driver, has to be smart in saving money, but more often than not, that's not the case. Most of our drivers do squander away all their hard-earned money in alcohol and tobacco.
What's the percentage you think that has a substance abuse problem?
I would say that's easily more than 75%.
Wow.
Another kind of problem that a driver in a city faces is that many of them are migrants. In Chennai, for instance, half of our drivers are from villages in Kanchipuram district. So they spend 4 days in Chennai driving an auto and the other 3 days back home farming. So,
wow.
Yeah. So they take a 12-hour train ride back to their village.
And why do they do that? Do they believe that there's more money in driving an auto rickshaw than in farming, or they're not needed on the farm for those 4 days?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. The farms are overcrowded. There's underemployment at a large level. So you have them trying to supplement the income for their families by driving an auto in the city.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just the problem of the auto driver. Most of them don't have sufficient income to support 6-member families. A lot of them everybody continues to live in slums and slum rehabilitation centers for over 2 decades now. And as a result, they don't have medical benefit, they don't have access to institutional credit. So all of these are problems of the auto drivers.
Okay, now enlighten us.
Yeah.
What is an average auto driver's monthly income?
Yeah.
And of that, if he doesn't own the auto, how much is he paying in rentals?
Yeah. So if I am going to rent an auto from a Seth in Chennai, from a private money lender in Chennai, I would pay anywhere between 150 and 250 daily. So this is his fixed cost.
Okay.
He can't do away with this.
Okay.
So
and how much, if I was an auto driver and I'm paying $250 as rent, how much is my potential to earn in that day?
So you're not going to earn more than 600 rupees a day. Even if the driver were to drive 12 hours a day and we are expecting him to, comply by the norms, charge only 12 rupees a kilometer, he's not going to drive more than 100 kilometers a day. And 40 kilometers out of this 100 kilometers is empty. This is your dead mileage. His earning is not going to be more than 350 rupees a day. This 350 is excluding the fuel cost. He spends as much as 250 to 400 rupees every day on just fuel. He spends again 150 to 250 on the daily auto rickshaw rent. This also translates into an EMI if they've bought a loan to get an auto rickshaw. And then, of course, with the 350 remaining, he needs to spend on himself. A lot of the men drivers spend 150 rupees on alcohol and tobacco. And that leaves him with just 200 rupees for his family. And he needs to cover food, clothing, shelter, education, and medicine.
That's about 6,000 rupees a month.
Yes.
6,000 rupees
to
a month
9,000.
if he works every single day of the month.
Every single day of the month.
Aishwarya goes on to talk about the middle-class lifestyle that auto drivers aspire for, the vicious debt cycles they get into, and the need for a holistic approach to solving their socio-economic problems.
So there are drivers who go to private money lenders for a lot of reasons. These are drivers in slums and slum rehabilitation centers, but with middle-class aspirations. So even if one of the driver's granddaughter is celebrating their first birthday, the driver ends up spending 80,000 rupees on the whole birthday bash. Wow. He has no idea that this is vulgar consumerism, but he spends so much money. He goes to a private money lender for this amount, and he's not able to repay, so he's going to borrow more money from others.
Now, how do you go about fixing this then? Where do you begin? I mean, I know you're doing like a wide spectrum of things at Auto Raja, but what is the starting point?
Yeah. So what we began is that we began addressing the problem of the commuter. And that's when we realized we need to address the problems of the socio-economic challenges of the auto drivers. And today, by addressing the socio-economic challenges of the auto drivers, by working closely with the transport department and the traffic police department, we have brought in a regulation.
Okay.
Because of that, almost 70,000 drivers in Chennai are going by meter today.
Wow.
And that's when we realized it was apt for us to launch our call auto service. That is so that autos can come to your doorstep, take you to wherever you want. There's a well-trained, professionally trained driver who's assisting you throughout the journey. There's a 24/7 customer support rendered by our call center. The driver now, because his social and economic challenges are addressed, is happy to serve you. He's a Raja or a Rani now who's serving you.
So it's not just the call auto service, right? It's not just regulating the fares. You're taking a much more holistic approach to tackling the problem, right? You're working with families, you're understanding the problems, you're trying to help them get finance for buying their own autos, and then you're putting them on de-addiction programs, and there's more. So tell me about the entire array, of support services that you're offering to change the culture amongst auto drivers. Now that is not a small thing to do.
So what we do is that we, of course, run the whole call auto service. This is where we train the drivers professionally. We teach them what customer relation means. We teach them what it means to interact with a differently abled person were they to call our service. We also run spoken English modules for them, so they're able to talk to any and every commuter visiting Chennai. So that's the whole call auto part. Now in the whole social side to Auto Raja is that we run this whole 3 wheels of social change program. We begin by facilitating the access of the driver and their family members to institutional finance. This is where we've partnered with an amazing organization, the All India Bank Officers Association. So this is a network of all nationalized banks in the country. And one of the banks, in fact, only last month gave away 200 auto rickshaw loans alone. So they've never done this before. And now we are making the drivers more responsible. We're making them financially healthy. We teach them what it means to save. That is the kind of assurance we provide to the banks.
Okay.
We tell them you can confidently give our Raja, our Rani a loan because we know the driver is capable of making 10,000 rupees a month, earning so much money. This is X% more than what he used to earn. And all of this simply because we have the call auto part improving the driver's business. Okay. So we in a way give the driver a monthly salary slip that he is able to produce to the bank.
Wow.
Which
and how
is
do you do that?
We do a lot of these daily regular trips for these drivers. So that's fixed income for him. A lot of the drivers are not very entrepreneurial, where they can go and get regular trips from, say, college, school, or office goers. So we facilitate that whole thing for the driver. Again, we don't take a commission from the driver. So all of that money is for the driver. We make that bank transaction for him. Many of the drivers have never visited a bank before, so we open savings bank account. We slowly push them towards opening recurring deposits. So once the auto rickshaw loan's over, they can
integrating them into the organized economy.
Yeah. So that's the whole banking part. That's the whole financial service that Auto Raja lends to the driver. The second thing we do is we facilitate the access of the driver and their family to affordable health care. We have amazing private hospitals that have come forward in this whole initiative. So we train on the drivers on the one hand on emergency response, first aid and emergency response, because every hospital and every citizen recognizes that if there is an accident on the road, the first person to react positively, constructively is an auto driver. They are those good Samaritans that are present everywhere, but we would just love to curse them.
Because we've heard of children being born in autos as well.
Yeah. So we've got such drivers with us who won medals of bravery from the police and all of that. So that's the second thing we do. On the one hand, we train the drivers in first aid. On the other, we also give free health checkups for all the drivers, and every driver gets a free discount card that he can avail any treatment on a discount at one of our partnering private hospitals.
And how much discount are we talking about?
We're for now only talking about 10%.
Okay.
But we're slowly building on that. We of course have medical insurances, again through a third-party insurance.
Okay, and is this subsidized as well? Are you able to get a subsidy for them?
We do. Driver in fact only needs to pay 260 rupees a year to be able to get his life insurance through us, and this is the cheapest premium a driver pays across the country, in fact. And finally, we are looking at education itself. For the Rajas and the Ranis, a lot of them are just 4th standard dropouts, but they have 20 years of experience, in the sense that we have drivers who speak 7 languages despite being a dropout from primary school. This is simply because they've interacted with so many people. So what we're doing is that we're trying to teach them what it means to even write and read in Tamil. And then we're also moving to giving them lessons in functional English. For the women from different driver families who don't want to take to auto driving, we run free computers and English classes for them. And we also place them in companies that are recruiting people from less advantaged backgrounds. And for the children, we run free tuition centers, and we also provide them with scholarships. So we believe that, auto drivers' middle class aspirations are not things that we need to discard, calling them ridiculous dreams, but they're certainly achievable if only the driver knew how to manage his finances. So yes, we begin with the finance, we move to healthcare and education. So that's the Auto Raja umbrella for the driver and the commuter.
That's a lot. That's a lot to do, and I think it takes a certain degree of courage to even think of wanting to do so many things. So what do the auto drivers have to say about the array of services that Auto Raja offers? Let's find out.
ஆட்டோ ராஜானாக்கா சார் நம்ம சவாரியை தேடி இப்போது ஆட்டோ ஓடுற நிலைமையில் சவாரியை தேடி நம்ம ஓடிட்டுருக்கோம். ஆட்டோ ராஜாவில் இருக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன சந்தோஷம்னாக்கா சவாரி நம்மளை தேடி வரும். அவங்க சொல்கிற இடத்துக்கு நம்ம போய் சவாரியை பிக்கப் பண்ணிக்கலாம். என்னன்னாக்கா அவங்க சொல்கிற இடம் ஒரு 2 கிலோமீட்டர்ஸ் அப்புறம் நம்ம எம்டியாக போகிறோம்னாக்கா அதுக்குண்டான பைசாவும் நமக்கு கொடுத்துட்றாங்க. அதுதான் வந்து ஸ்பெஷல் ஆட்டோ ராஜாவில் இருக்கிற ஸ்பெஷல். மற்ற இதில் வந்து அது மாதிரி கிடையாது. எங்கே போய் பண்ணுறீங்களோ பண்ணிக்கோன்னு நின்றுவாங்க. எம்டி பைசா கொடுக்குறாங்க. அதான் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஹெல்ப்பாக இருக்குது. அவங்க சொல்கிறபடியெல்லாம் அன்றைக்கி ஆட்டோ ஓட்டும் போது அவங்க சொல்கிற ரேட்டுக்கு ஆட்டோ ராஜா சொல்கிற அந்த அவங்க சொல்கிற அந்த கோட்பாடுகளுக்கு நாங்கள் கீழ்ப்படிஞ்சு ஆட்டோ ஓட்டும் போது உண்மையாகவே பேசஞ்சர் வந்து எங்களை வந்து ரொம்ப மதிக்கிறாங்க. பரவாயில்ல அப்படின்னு மதிக்கிறாங்க. ஒரு சில டீசன்சியை ஒழுக்கங்களை எங்களுக்கு கற்றுக் கொடுக்குறாங்க. இப்போ ஆட்டோக்காரங்கன்னாக்காவே தவறாக பார்க்குற உலகத்தில் ஆட்டோ ராஜாவில் இணைஞ்சு ஓட்டும்பொழுது பரவாயில்ல ஆட்டோ ஓட்டுநர்கள் இப்படியும் இருக்கிறார்களா அப்படின்னு பேசஞ்சரை பிரமிக்கத்தக்க வகையில் நாங்கள் நடந்துக்க அது ஏதுவாக இருக்குது. ஆட்டோ ராஜாவில் சேர்ந்ததால் சொந்த ஆட்டோவுக்கு ஓனராக இருக்கிறன்ற ஒரு பெருமையோடு இருக்கிறேன் சார் நான்.
என் பேர் ஜெயந்தி. எனக்கு 3 பசங்க இருக்காங்க. எனக்கு படிப்பு அறிவு இல்லை. 3rd ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் தான் நான் படிச்சிருக்கேன். என் பசங்களாச்சும் நான் நல்லா படிக்கணும்னு நினச்சேன். என்னோடய ஹஸ்பண்ட் இறந்துட்டார். 2002 என் ஹஸ்பண்ட் இறந்துட்டார். இருந்தாலும் ஒரு ஆம்பளை நம்பி நான் வாழணும்னு எனக்கு இஷ்டம் இல்லை. எப்படி நான் இருக்க போகிறேன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாமல் இருக்கும்போது ராஜா ராணி ஆட்டோன்றவங்க வந்தாங்க. நான் சேப்பாக்கம் ஸ்டேடியத்துக்கு ஒரு மீட்டிங் போயிருந்தேன். அங்கே எங்களை கேட்டாங்க. சரி சார் நான் வரேன் சார், நீங்கள் சவாரி கொடுத்தா எனக்கு போதும் சார்னு வந்தேன். சவாரி மட்டும் இல்லாமல் அவங்க பசங்களையும் நாங்கள் பார்த்துப்போம், உங்கள் பசங்களையும் நாங்கள் படிக்க வைப்போம். ஸ்காலர்ஷிப்லேருந்து ஃபீஸ்லேருந்து யார் சார் சொல்லுவாங்க, என் சொந்தக்காரங்க கூட சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க, அவங்க யாருனே தெரியாது நம்மளுக்கு.
Auto Raja is taking a 360-degree approach to improving the lives of auto drivers. The co-founder Aishwarya Raman started this social enterprise after education at Oxford. I find out what motivated her to start up and what inspires her to keep going. I'm baffled and I have to ask, how do you do this? How big is the team? How are you funding this? And how are you going to sustain all this effort in the long run?
Yeah. Until last week, we were self-funded. We were a bootstrapped company.
So things have changed in the last week, yes.
Last week, we raised a grant from Shell Foundation.
Okay.
So that's again in US dollars. So it's good for a company in Chennai. We are a team of only 5. Okay. So we've got 2 of our drivers' children working with us.
Okay.
They are graduates, and we've got a transgender woman who's not been employed anywhere else, but she's got she's supremely socially conscious. So we figured that kind of an integration, we needed to build that kind of an organization right from the beginning, be as diverse as we can be.
And be inclusive.
Yeah, be
that's
inclusive.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
So that's our team now.
One last question to you. The way I see it, you've given up a lot to do this, right? You've been working on this for quite a while now without remuneration.
Yeah.
Right? And 2 people going out and doing this much is not a joke. You've probably sacrificed quite a bit of sleep as well. Okay.
18 hours a day is our working hour.
Yeah, and you're highly qualified. So you could be anywhere making a ton of money, right? You did your postgrad in Oxford, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What motivates you today to continue on to want to do bigger things with Auto Raja?
So this Auto Raja, in a sense, is an extension of my undergraduate thesis. And I don't think a lot of us have the opportunity of turning a project into an organization. And we're also now working on how that organization can become financially sustainable, not just viable at some level. What keeps me going is simply the sheer number of people, sheer number of lives of people whom you can touch through this initiative. We are talking about 1 lakh drivers just in Chennai, but millions and millions of auto drivers across the country. We're talking about 23 crores of commuters just using autos every day. So those numbers are what keep me, moving ahead. We never anticipated that in 10 months we would have 1,000 drivers who would believe in the entire idea. All of this is, we didn't approach these drivers. Initially, we had a huge challenge just explaining this whole idea to the driver. We said, Anna, go at 12 rupees a kilometer, not at 25. You'll see more revenue. It made no sense to them. It didn't add up to them, The drivers couldn't even believe that such a thing could work. And today, we have Rajas bringing in their relatives, bringing in brothers, bringing in neighbors. And that's how our whole fleet's grown. Our whole Auto Raja family's grown simply because the drivers believe in this entire system.
And they're talking about it. And
they're talking about it.
Recruit people.
We've not even advertised anywhere. So you won't find pamphlets carrying Auto Raja or message in the among the auto rickshaw community. That whole thing about improving the lives of auto drivers, improving the life of a person who is your first point of contact in any city, right? So that keeps Anubhav, me, and everybody else in Auto Raja motivated.
Fantastic.
So that's
Thank
what
you
we're
so
doing.
much, Aishwarya.
Thank you. Thanks a lot,
Fantastic having
Lakshmi.
you on the show.
Thanks for having Auto Raja on the show.
Join our mailing list at chaiwithlakshmi.in/subscribe and keep in touch with us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and Pinterest.